Hey, Tyler and Sean, I hope this will help out. I'm sorry that we couldn't get together this week to do this live walkthrough, but hopefully these screen records will help you understand what's needed to get yourselves up and running, and then we can do another live WebEx session early next week, hopefully Monday, to answer any questions you have. Okay, so if you log into the system as a company admin, this is the first set of tabs that you see. So it is basically all about your location accounts, users in your system, post-delivery scripts that you might have, relationships, secure relationships with other companies on the portal, and how to build private networks. If you're involved in shipping and receiving only, this is the set of tabs you see when you log in. So it's fundamentally separating church and state between what do you need to do to worry about shipping, what do you need to do to worry about the company account. Okay, so my company. This is your relationship token. If you want to create a secure relationship with another company on this portal, you would copy paste this token into an email and send it to the company administrator of the other company. Once you actually paste that into the relationships position, it will create that secure relationship across two company boundaries, and then each company admin respectfully adds location accounts and users to a specific relationship. It also shows you how many active locations you have in your company account, how many active projects, and how many active users. So it's kind of a handy little dashboard for that. Locations is probably one of the most important pieces of this, and when you go into it, you'll see all of the locations that are established in a company account. Over here, if it's a transit hub, you're going to have a green check mark. Now, transit hub is basically an intermediary point that helps you deal with basically port 4115, where you have people that are roaming like I am typically. I'm never in too many places where I can ask a barista in a coffee shop to open port 4115. So you can have a transit hub which does have 4115 open inbound, outbound in some location within your network infrastructure to handle that. Excuse me. Now, when a transit hub is engaged in a location, what happens is somebody that's shipping to you, there is intelligent routing that says, okay, when it's coming to Doug's location, I have to go through this transit hub because my location account, if we go in there, we're going to have a look at that right now. It says, do not use a transit hub. So for me to have that engaged, I would add the Discovery Transit Hub, which actually is hosted in a data center in the UK, and I save the changes. Actually, I take that back. The Transit Hub was actually moved to an Amazon Web Services location in Virginia recently, so it's actually living over here. Okay, so back up on the top level, you can see whatever locations are online and what their current throttle rates are, or if they're offline, how long have they been offline? In this case, Doug participant was last seen 39 minutes ago. I think there's probably a couple in here. Tosh Discovery is it's been 7,628 minutes since I was last on. That's my Windows machine, which actually holds a door open in my office. Okay, let's go into the participant. Let's go in to look at my location account for a quick sec. You can call it whatever you want. We're going to come back to airspace. If this was actually a transit hub location, you would select that and it's going to give you a pop-up that says, you really sure you want to do this? Okay, and then you would have to save the changes. That's basically how that works. I'm going to discard the changes. It will also show you what version shipping agent is installed on that particular machine, and in a general description of what the OS is on that particular host. You can also deal with private public IP dedication if in fact you have firewall configurations where you want to get across into an internal system, maybe in a DMZ for example, and you want to have dedicated IP paths to that. We have send receive throttle rates, primary and secondary. Now if you think about primary as during business hours, secondary as after business hours, and you can set send and receive rates anywhere from Why are you bothering all the way up to unthrottled? Okay, so you've got primary, secondary set. Now if you go into the availability schedule, that will give you access to every hour of every day of the week. Now if you hold down shift, for example, I'm going to go to Monday, hold down shift, click on 1800 hours. Now I get a pulsing green. So let's say from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Now I'm in my secondary throttle rates through Monday through Tuesday morning. Excuse me. If you have a maintenance schedule sometime, you can also go down and shut that location off specifically for 1 hour on Thursday. Any changes you do, you have to click Save Changes. Okay, back to the general parameters. If you have any difficulties with a shipping agent at a particular location, you can basically reset the location and save the change. And all that's going to do is give a kick in the pants to the shipping agent. This is actually something that right now you install a shipping agent and then you assign a location account to it. Now if you want it to move that location to a different machine, you would unlock it and move your location to another machine. I'm not going to get too much into this because this is all changing with a new license management scheme that's coming in the very, very near future. And I am going to spend a minute showing you how that works. Now if you were going to be using this location to have inbound outbound port 4115 enabled, there's also a test connection in here that you can click, and it will come back. In my case, I know it's going to say forget it. Okay, the connection could not be made at this time. If in fact your firewall settings were correct, it would come back up and say it is able to be done. Now you also have to make sure that you have your time zone, it's all UTC plus or minus, set for where are you somewhere in the world, because that is also interrelated with the schedule and throttle rates. So think about it this way: you're shipping data to 5 different destinations and they're all in different world time zones. The throttle rates in each particular location are going to be respectful to where are they UTC and what have you done as far as scheduling throttle rates at that location. So you never ever start stomping on somebody in the middle of their workday by gobbling all the bandwidth. That's about it for locations for now. Users is really straightforward. You come in and you add somebody's name, email address, and however you want to manage like a default password, and then they can log in and change it. In your case, you would only have one company to assign people to. Now you can also associate projects at this point with that particular user. There's a few different ways you can manage projects, so I'm going to leave that for now because it's actually easier to explain that over on the other set of tabs. Okay, so that's users. Scripts, that's post-delivery scripting. Perl, Python, PHP. I want something to happen after the shipment has arrived. And in fact, you can actually send that instruction, I want the post-delivery script to happen at some point in the future after it arrives as well. So that's basically the process of creating scripts. And basically you go in and you name it, you define the script language, and you paste in your script here. Relationships is all about who do I have relationships with on this portal. And it's all about security of relationships. So for example, let's go to Digital Film Central. I have, of all of the locations in my company account, my Airware Technology account, I have myself, my partner Mark in the UK, and my doorstop in my office as part of the locations. So I can only see the locations on my side of the relationship. I can't see anything on the other side or the other company's relationship. Now I can also assign as many users or as few users as I want as well. The other thing that you can do is you can allow third-party scripts to be assigned in this relationship. So it's another way of discriminating of how you manage relationships and scripting. Private networks is all about, sort of virtual private networks. You can call this one, let's just call it demo. And I'm going to give it a metric of 3. Now managing locations, all you're really doing here is adding locations that are in your company account mine, for example, and if I had my IP address on this network, I could assign it here and save the change. So what you're really doing is basically building up a series of locations that can span different secure relationships with other companies as well. You're basically saying I've got a whole series of locations plus IP addresses that are nailed down for those devices, and now they can all play securely based on IP. And that's really kind of an interesting and important feature, because you can bridge public and private networks very easily and very securely with this. Okay, so that's basically the set of configuration tabs as a company admin. I'm going to give it a pause here. Okay, let's talk about cargo for a minute. I'm going to call a piece of cargo alter ego. And I only have one location associated with my machine, so that's why I only have it. I'm not going to talk about these for a minute. We're going to come back to those. So basically, cargo is, remember how we created some shortcuts? I'm just going to, no, I'm not. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to navigate down and I'm going to go users and me and so on and so forth. What you're doing when you create cargo is you're basically, we got some stuff in there, so that's cool. I'm going to select that group of files. Now cargo can be one folder with files in it. It can be nested folders. You could have as many primary subfolders as you want. As soon as you choose what you want, save the changes. Okay. So now we've got a piece of cargo in there called alter ego. Okay. I can associate that with projects now. Anything that I have permission to add to, select it. You can select more than one if you want and save the changes. So now you've got a project with locations and users, and you've got some cargo associated with it. So what the heck is cargo? Cargo allows you to create shipments where maybe you're initiating the shipment from your location out to other people. Maybe some other people in that particular project in other places in the city or the world are allowed to pull pieces of that cargo to their location. Or you can have the third equation, which is I'm neither at the shipping destination or the recipient destination. I am just logged on to the portal someplace in the world, but I have the authenticated access to those projects, and I can initiate shipments to other destinations or between other destinations simply by logging on to the portal from anything. In fact, I've done it from an airplane on my iPad and my phone. It's just simply initiating a shipment. So when you create a new shipment, it's based on what project is this associated with. Let's use my testing project. You notice we have 4 tabs here. Choose cargo. You can either ship files from your local computer, or you can ship files from, and you notice I didn't associate that cargo with this one. We're just going to keep moving here. There is cargo. This is Neil. He's in England. This is Marty. He's in Florida. This is Mark. He's in the UK. So, and you can notice some of them are Mac, some of them are Windows, and so on. I could say, hey, let's go Marty Win 7. Okay, so I've chosen cargo from another destination. Okay, this is Marty Win 7 in Florida. If I want to drill down, we don't waste a lot of time with display in Airship. If you want to drill down in and see what is in that, you can click there, and you're going to see exactly what's there. Now, in this case, it's only one file, so it's not going to be a big deal. Choose options. Do you want to delay the shipping? Maybe I want to set the shipment up, but I don't want it to happen until, say, the 19th of the month at a specific time. And this is all UTC time in your location. Do you have a shipping or post-delivery ship to add to it? Well, I don't have any, but if you did, they'd be there. And if you did add a script, do you want to delay the execution of that shipment or once it's arrived to another point in time? We set it to ship on the 19th, but maybe we don't want the script to execute until the 22nd at a certain time, say 10 in the morning. Okay, so those are those 2 things. And every time you engage or disengage something, there's usually a pop-up or a warning. Now, we also enable mathematically lossless compression on all shipments. It's not doing anything other than kind of the equivalent of zip. Some people freak out about it, so if you really just want to take longer to ship something, deselect that. That's really what it's doing. And I always wanted the guys in England to have that pop-up over here that as soon as you click that, it says, all you're doing is taking more time shipping this. Because that's really what it is. And we have other clients that want us to support MD5 block checking, so that's been there. Now, I'm going to go back here for a sec. No, I'm not. I'm going to complete this first, and then I'll go back. Add notes if you want. You can copy, paste in, type. Now, these are the destinations associated with this project. So I could select them all if I wanted everybody to have it, or I can pick a particular. Now remember, we were back here the cargo was coming from Marty Wind 7, so maybe I want it to come to me. Now what I've done here is we've set up a shipment with cargo. The cargo is actually living on a computer in Florida, and I'm going to pull it to me here in Los Angeles in this shipment. As soon as you select either one or everybody, you notice down in the bottom left corner there, you get airship now. As soon as you commit, you have an active shipment in the system. And if I widen me out here a little bit, it's in transit. You can drill in. You notice there's an airship ID assigned, and every one of them is unique. If you drill down in, you get 3 tabs. The first one is who submitted it, what was the cargo name, what was the project associated with it. Excuse me. And if you think about this, if you have multiple shipments going to the same destination, so you've got one in progress or in transit, and you've got others queued, and somebody comes in with their hair on fire and they say, hey, number 4 in the stack is really important now. If you remember that guy, he was the manager in the project assignment, or you have the company admin authority, you can actually go in and say, okay, if this is number 4 in the stack, change the priority to urgent. And now what happens is the shipment that was in progress is paused by the portal. The shipment that you've now changed priority to urgent gets pushed to the top of the queue, and it begins. And once it's completed the shipment, the portal will resume that other shipment that was in progress where it left off automatically. You also get a date stamp for when did it start, was there delayed shipping, and all the other details. Sender summary. Okay, so that's Marty Wind 7. He's in Florida. You can hover. He's alive, and he's in his primary throttle rates. Recipient summary. You remember we were talking about me. I'm in a location where I haven't got port 4115 open inbound or outbound, so I'm using a transit hub. And that's exactly what's going on here. So it's going from this guy's machine in Florida to me via transit hub, which is being hosted on Amazon in Virginia. Now you get progress, pending, queued, percentage delivered, and complete. We only update the portal every 5 minutes, so our attitude about this is more, hey, you gave the box to FedEx and they took it out and put it in the truck and drove away. What do you know about that after that? Because the reality is, once you've initiated a shipment, it's going to get there. And it's going to get there as quick as possible. So that's basically how a shipment's created. Now, you have every shipment in the system as a permanent log of everything that you have been doing in your company account. So it is, in fact, I have permission to drill in on some of these. This is a guy that we're monitoring shipments for. And they're moving data between Los Angeles and a place in Rome. An awful lot of 3D left eye, right eye visual effects plates. And they're shipping tons of stuff on a really bad network. Whoop, come back here. In this case, it's not a lot. You know, it was only about 3.5 gigs worth of stuff. But if you notice, you don't have to zip or tar rare payloads to ship on Airship. Every individual file retains its individual file name, size, last modified date. So you have a complete permanent record of every individual file. And that's because every individual file is shipped individually. So it's a very, very handy feature to have. One thing I want to point out is, as we've been walking through all of this, there's help buttons on every screen you come into. And it's contextual help, so it's going to bring up things associated with shipments. Okay? Now, if I were back, for example, on projects as an example, you can tell everybody in my neighborhood's come home. Okay, so now I'm in projects and I hit help. I'm going to get, obviously, details and support for projects. So it's kind of handy while you're getting more familiar with everything. And it's also the manual. Everything about, you know, quick start, technical guide, overview, install configurations, and so on, system integration, etc. So it's all there as well. Now, let me think about this. I think I've touched on pretty much everything. I'm going to push these up to YouTube and send you the links. and you're not going to update that until you get them, of course. So please have a look at these. I hope it helps. And if it's kind of almost there but didn't get there 100%, don't hesitate to call me tomorrow, Wednesday, and I'll kick in, because you've now got some good visual references of all of the various components of Airship. And hopefully we can get you kick-started way before the end of the week, especially because I think, Tyler, you were going to do some testing as soon as possible on 2 different network segments. I'm also going to send you a PDF that explains that in the various configurations you can do. So anyway, I hope that helps. Call me if you have questions. Thanks.